Before we get started, viewer discretion is advised. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel where I record gaming videos and true crime stories. Today we're going to be reading a true crime story, as you can tell by the title. And before we get started, I just want to say the reason I've been uploading randomly is because I've been really busy, and so I really don't got time to do YouTube. But before I start reading, I just want to say, like and subscribe so you turn on post notifications so you don't miss a video when I do upload. But yeah, let's just get right into it. Today's video is me reading the story of the Butcher of Plainfield. Hey, let's just get right into it. Quaintly settled in the heart of Wisconsin, the small farm town of Plainfield has a population of just under 900 citizens. Sorry, I got notifications. Let me just get rid of those real quick. Founded in the late 1800s, Plainfield appears to be just another dot on the map, except it harbors a dark secret, a story that older town members only whisper about, one that they hope their grandchildren will never learn of, a tale of a man so twisted that it doesn't seem real. But Edward Theodore Gain was very real, and so were his crimes. To tell you why Ed Gain became known as the Butcher of Plainfield, it's essential to start at the beginning. Ed was born to Augusta and George Gain in 1906. He had a brother named Henry, 5 years his elder. By the time of his birth, Augusta had already begun to despise his husband. He was a nasty alcoholic who couldn't hold down a job. After a failed attempt at owning a grocery store, George moved the entire family to Plainfield, Wisconsin, where they lived on an isolated farm. Augusta used the opportunity to shield his sons from the world. She would spend hours teaching the boys about the immortality of mankind. Immorality, not mortality. Of mankind. And how all women were naturally prostitutes, doing the work of the devil. She was particularly fond of teaching sections of the Bible that highlighted death and murder. It's not hard to imagine that Ed's home life attributed to odd social behavior. His classmates and teachers reported random, unprompted bursts of laughter. To make matters worse, Augusta would physically punish her son when he tried to make friends. It doesn't take an expert to see Ed Gain was headed down a bad path. After Ed's father died, he and his brothers Henry picked up odd jobs to make ends meet. That's when things really started to unravel. On May 16th, 1944, Ed and Henry were working on a property burning away mashed vegetation. Somehow the fire got out of control and spread rapidly. The local fire department extinguished the flames, but Henry was nowhere to be found. A search party found Henry's dead body lying face down in a field near where he and Ed had been working. The cause of death was listed as Let me go figure out how that word is pronounced. Asphyxiation, presumably from the fire, despite not a single trace of burn marks. The coroner reported a number of large bruises on Henry's head. Alright, I don't know if I just covered my mic. asphyxiation, presumably from the fire, despite not a single trace of burn marks. The coroner reported a number of large bruises on Henry's head, but investigators determined no foul play, allowing Ed Gein to walk away a completely free man. Not long after Henry's death, Augusta suffered a paralyzing stroke. Ed spent the number of the next year nurturing and caring for her. Until December 29th, 1945, when she died, leaving Ed devastated and completely alone. The following years were filled with unstable work, but more prominently, crippling loneliness. Ed found solace in reading death cult magazines, especially. Sorry, I really ain't good at reading. One's concentrating on cannibalism. On November 16th, 1957, a local Plainfield store owner disappeared. Bernice Warden was an avid hunter, leading some to believe she had gone on a hunting trip. But when her son entered the store later that day, he discovered an empty cash register and floor stained with blood. Police discovered that Bernice had written a receipt for only one customer on the day of her disappearance. The slip had been issued for a purchase made by Ed Gein. He was arrested that very day at the local grocery store. The sheriff's department dispatched officers to Ed's farm, where they discovered evidence so horrific that it still haunts Plainfield residents decades later. Bernice was found inside of Ed's barn, strung up like a deer, shot with a .22 caliber rifle, mutilated and decapitated. But even more shocking was what was found inside the house. Those with weak stomachs should read further with extreme caution. Alright, if you do not want to hear this or see this, look away and mute the computer or phone or whatever you're listening to this on. Ed's house was littered with whole human bones, skulls on bedposts, human skin covering chairs and lamps, cut off limbs of drawstrings, bowls made out of skulls, detached noses. Bernice Warden's head in a burlap sack, and her heart pre-prepped in a plastic bag, presumably for dinner. Perhaps more disturbing of all was the expensive wardrobe Ed had created, consisting of various clothing items fashioned entirely from human skin. When questioned, Ed calmly explained his nocturnal visits to the local graveyard. Over the course of 5 years, he had robbed and removed fresh dead bodies, hoping to find middle-aged women who resembled his mother. Apparently, Ed wanted to create what he described as a woman suit, so that when donned the skin, he could become his mother. Police noted that the only thing that upset Ed during the interview was that the investigators did not seem to emphasize with his logic. He even tried getting them on his side by saying he did not have sex with bodies, but admittedly only because they smelled too bad. He also revealed he committed another murder in 1954, but later denied any memory of the crime. Ed was deemed mentally unfit for trial. His schizophrenic diagnosis landed him in a maximum security mental institution. 11 years later, experts deemed he was able to confer with Conseil and participate in his defense. The trial was performed without a jury and lasted only 1 week. Ed Gein was found guilty of just one murder. Due to prohibitive costs in trying his other crimes, he was sentenced to spend the rest of his life in an institution for the criminally insane. Years later, amidst rumors that the farm would be turned into a tourist attraction, it burned to the ground thanks to a suspicious fire. When asked about the destruction of his property, Ed merely responded, "Just as well," seemingly unbothered by the whole matter. Ed Gein died in 1984 at the age of 77. His legacy lives on in infamy and was served as inspiration for filmmakers and authors when concocted psychotic, murderous characters. A final word to the wise. If you ever choose to visit the quiet town of Plainfield, Wisconsin, it's best of you to avoid mentioning the name Ed Gein. Thanks for watching this video. If you have not already, make sure to like and subscribe and turn on post notifications. I don't know when I'll be making another crime story, but it'll probably be within the next few weeks at least. I'll also be making an Among Us video, which will be going up within the next week, most likely. And I'm thinking of doing some other games. I don't know what, but put ideas down in the comments section. I do read every single comment. I don't get much, but I read them. Thank you. Have a great day. I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a happy and safe New Year. Thank you. Have a great day.